You don't need to memorize complicated grammar rules to get better at English. Just let yourself enjoy a good story. Stories help you understand how real people talk and think. They give you grammar, vocabulary, and structure without you even noticing. You learn how to describe emotions, actions, and places without needing a textbook. So if you enjoy learning like this, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell. We post stories like this every single day, and every story helps you learn more naturally. It was the loudest place he had been in all week. Cars honked like geese. People rushed like they were chasing something invisible. Voices bounced off buildings and wrapped around him. The smell of street food mixed with the sharp smell of gasoline. Music from a passing bus collided with the noise of a blender in a fruit stand. Sao Paulo was full of life. But Leo didn't feel alive that morning. He wasn't sad. He wasn't angry. Just full. Not of food, but of thoughts. Tired thoughts. Busy thoughts. Thoughts that didn't want to sit still. It had started the night before. He had tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. His phone buzzed with messages he didn't want to answer. His mind replayed every small thing he had done wrong that week. So early that morning, with no plan and no real reason, he left his room and began to walk. He left behind the familiar streets, turned corners he didn't know, and followed the noise. He took a right where he normally went left, crossed at a red light, walked past closed cafes and sleepy dogs. A strange energy pulled him forward, even when his feet were tired. Soon, the quiet backstreets opened into the busiest avenue he had seen in days. There were flashing signs, crowds moving in every direction, street performers, and people selling sunglasses and cold drinks. The air felt thicker here, like sound had weight. He walked with the crowd. Their pace became his. They walked fast. Some yelled into phones. Others ate while walking, dodging each other like leaves in a fast river. He kept walking with them, unsure why. He had no destination. No goal. Just motion. Then he saw it. A chair. One wooden chair. A little scratched, a little tired looking, but still strong. It sat near the edge of the sidewalk, close to a bus stop but not part of it. It had no owner, no sign, no explanation. No one else noticed it. Everyone kept moving. No one slowed down. But Leo stopped. He stared at the chair like it was glowing. It didn't belong there. That much was clear. But somehow it made perfect sense to him. It looked like a quiet thought in the middle of a loud argument. He looked around. No one seemed to care. A woman walked right past it while fixing her hair. A man adjusted his headphones and didn't even glance. Leo took one step forward. Then another. And then he sat. He sat down on the chair in the middle of all that chaos. And the noise didn't stop. The people didn't slow down. But something inside him went still. It was like someone had pressed pause, not on the world, but on him. He didn't close his eyes. Didn't check his phone. Just sat. People passed by. Some glanced at him, eyebrows raised, then quickly looked away. A few children pointed. A teenager laughed and took a photo. But Leo didn't care. For the first time that day, he felt like he was exactly where he needed to be. He started to notice things. The way sunlight touched the side of a glass building. A bird hopping along the curb, picking at crumbs. The rhythm of footsteps, fast and slow, overlapping like music. A girl smiled while tying her shoelace. A man hummed a tune while carrying bags of fruit. A couple sat on a bench nearby, sharing a sandwich, laughing with their heads close together. He hadn't seen these things before. Not because they weren't there, but because he hadn't been still enough to notice. Minutes passed. Or maybe more. He lost track of time, but not in a bad way. The chair didn't become more comfortable, but the city around it became less sharp. The honking horn seemed less angry. The shouting less aggressive. The movement around him felt more like a dance and less like a storm. He breathed. Not a dramatic, deep breath. Just a simple, full one. And when he finally stood up, he felt different. Not fixed. Not transformed. But lighter. Like he had put down something heavy and didn't need to pick it up again. The chair was still there. Empty once more. But Leo felt like it had taken something from him and given something back. He didn't know what to do next, but that was okay. He crossed the street without rushing. He noticed a small bookstore he had never seen before. It was painted a soft yellow, with a handwritten sign in the window that read, "Quiet inside. Welcome." He stepped in. The smell of old paper and wood welcomed him. A small fan spun slowly in the corner. There was no music. Just the sound of pages turning and a distant clock ticking. He didn't read. He didn't buy anything. He just walked between the shelves. A woman nodded at him from behind the counter. He nodded back. There were chairs inside. Comfortable ones. He chose one near a window and sat again. Outside, the city kept moving. But in that small bookstore, time moved differently. He stayed for a long time. Thinking. Breathing. Just being. By the time he left, the sunlight had changed. It hit the street at a new angle. The noise outside seemed gentler. Or maybe he had changed. He walked out and smiled at no one in particular. He didn't go back to the chair. He didn't need to. It had already done its work. Instead, he walked slowly, turning corners without needing to know where they led. And Sao Paulo, wild and wonderful, moved around him. This time he wasn't chasing it. He was part of it. Just by following Leo's story, you practiced how to use the past tense naturally, how to describe emotions, actions, and places with rich details, and how to use advanced sentence structures without getting confused. You also learned how English expresses silence, stillness, and reflection, all through simple but powerful storytelling. You didn't memorize anything. You lived it. That's the magic of learning through stories. If this helped you even a little, hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell so you don't miss tomorrow's story. Now let's make this fun. Have you ever noticed something small in a busy place that changed your whole day? Share it in the comments. We want to hear your story.